save.
Jamie Vardy again for Leicester City.
And Leicester finally getting the goals they deserve.
Live on LCFC.com, Facebook and Twitter, you're listening to the Pre-Match Pint, brought to you by Chang Beer.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to LCFC Radio. It's Matchday. It's an early start to the weekend for Leicester City as they head to Carrow Road to take on Norwich in the Premier League. And all your build-up starts right here with the Pre-Match Pint with me, Lewis Mason, and joining me in the studio today, Gerry Taggart, Matt Elliott, and a man who has renamed the show today, gentlemen, to the Pre-Match Pint, according to
Wishful
Twitter.
thinking, is that?
Welcome to Iwan Roberts. How are you, Iwan?
Sorry, lads, sorry.
I can't even get a pint, never mind. I've been asking for a pint for nearly a year now, and I can't even get a pint, never mind a pint.
Wishful thinking on my part,
Well, you
wasn't
might
it?
get a pie with your fish and chips
Hey,
later on, mate.
yeah.
How are we, gents? Ready for another
good.
night of football with Leicester City?
Oh, is there football going
Oh,
on as
yeah.
well
Matt,
tonight? Yeah.
Matt, I don't know if you've noticed, but you've got a bit of a tear in your shirt there, lad. I don't know what's going on. You trying to style it with a young'un?
I think it's my shoulders, mate, been ripping the shirt to bits on my belly. I've got about 5 on my belly here.
Well, he's looking.
You're in your 50s, and you're wearing.
Hold on there
You're
a wee
wearing
minute.
shirts fit for.
If he can
17,
dress like
18
that, I can dress
What
like
do you mean
this.
like that?
You look all right from there. It's from the
need
waist down. See what he's
As
got
my
under
mum
there.
would
Oh,
say, you need to catch yourself on, son.
Well,
don't get old before your time, Tags.
we
Plenty
did
of
it all.
time for that.
We did all comment saying you're looking pretty smart, but you've been
Yeah.
you've been moonlighting them.
See?
You've been doing TV stuff today. I saw it on Twitter earlier. Yeah.
Well spotted.
We thought it was for us. You were making an effort.
No.
As
I'd
if.
be like Walshy, I'd just turn up in my tracksuit then, yeah?
Talking football then, Gerry. Big night for Leicester, playing the bottom of the Premier League side, but a run of games against a team of strugglers in the next couple of weeks for Leicester. And they're going to be tough games because they're fighting for their lives, all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't call it the business end of the season for nothing, because invariably when you get to this stage of the season, either people are struggling at the bottom or they're trying to cement or nick a place at the top end of the table. So it's still all to play for Leicester. Yes, Norwich are struggling, and it does look pretty much, they've got 18 points, pretty much assured that they are going to be one of the 3 teams that go down, but they're not going to go down without a fight. So, and it's also important for Leicester to try and, just get back to winning ways tonight. So a great opportunity.
Iwan, 41 goals in 100 games for Leicester, 84 goals in 278 games for Norwich. Who are you supporting tonight then?
Oh, you hit
Do
him
you know
with that
what?
one earlier on.
I
The delay says it
no,
all,
no,
mate.
no,
Delay
not
says
at
it
all,
all.
not at all. I
Don't
thoroughly,
come on here.
I thoroughly enjoyed my time at both clubs. Obviously, I still live in Norwich. I've married
There's his answer.
a Norfolk
Yeah.
girl. No,
And not
They
what they
need-
call Norwichians.
no, I can't say it on because obviously the county is Norfolk,
Yeah.
so it's. No, I won't say it. I won't even try and say it on here, especially with these.
A Norfolkian.
Well, that type of.
But why was it not Norwichian?
I don't
Nor-
know. I don't know.
Or a Norwichian? Well, eh?
Anyway. I've got to sit on the fence.
That's
too,
a
so
train
I
question.
can't. That's like saying
Sitting on the fence.
Which one's your favourite kid?
I could tell you mine. I just told you mine.
Everybody knows my son's mine. So
There we go. But in terms of, have you seen much of Norwich this season?
I've seen them 3 times when I've been down to Carrow Road. The first one was the second game of the season when they absolutely battered Newcastle, beat them 3-0. First time I saw Joel Linton, whatever. I thought, what an absolute waste of money, and I don't think he's sort of.
You're not sitting on the fence now, are you?
No, he was. Then I saw the Man City game where they were tremendous. Beginning of September, beat Man City 3-2, I think, in one of the best performances that's ever been seen at Carrow Road. And I was there the other week when they lost narrowly to Liverpool 1-0. Played well, looked comfortable in the game, to be fair. Contained Liverpool. Liverpool never really had too many chances. I understand it was the first game back after the winter break and one thing or another. But then when you've got the likes of Mane to come off the bench, who went on to score the winning goal, that's what you're up against. They know they're up against the 18 points from 27 games. lowest scorers along with Watford. I think only Villa have conceded more goals. When you're struggling in both boxes, it's bad news, boys. To be fair to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I just ask
go on.
you one more question?
Yeah, no, Matthew.
If you were on NCFC TV and you were asked who you wanted to win today,
Darren Eady would get exactly the same answer. I promise you.
Okay.
What would
All right,
Darren
we
Eady
cleared
say?
that one up.
Jockey's a
Norwich.
He's a canary, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a canary.
You mentioned about them playing well, and that's kind of been the thing with Norwich this year. Everyone's kind of said, they lost. They played well, though, and they've not really changed their style, and, he's been kind of praised for that, saying, actually, I'm going to play the way we want to play, but when you're at that end, do you need to change things up now? And playing well isn't going to keep you in the Premier League if you're not getting the results.
Yeah, the points tally and the league position suggest yes. There's different interpretations of playing well as well, isn't there? Playing well in terms of reasonably attractive to watch, but they're obviously not doing it that well because they're not scoring goals. I suppose there'd be more of an argument for that if they were rattling goals in and conceding a few, and it was a bit of a lottery one way or the other, and they're unlucky here and there. But if they're conceding too many,
and that was always going to be the case.
Both
That was always
penalties.
because they conceded too many in the Championship last year. I think they conceded.
There's different ways of playing well as well.
54 goals.
Defending is as big a part of the game as attacking, and being good at it and doing it, in this case, terminology, doing it well, is important. So obviously they're not overall. But having said that, you sort of not admire, but you respect the way that Norwich go about their business, and in particular here at the King Power, that they were pretty impressive. They certainly weren't a team who seemed destined to be cut adrift and and not contemplate except relegation at that point. I don't think they've still accepted it yet, but it's getting mighty close. It's do or die time for them, isn't it? I think tonight they're going to have to go for. I know they do anyway.
A lot of the fans,
they're going to have to go for it, aren't they?
They
Which
need
might
a
suit Leicester,
similar points tally from their last 11 games as what they've got from their opening 27.
Yeah, but
and their next 4 or 5 fixtures, very. They've got. I think they've got Sheffield to play. They've got Everton to play. I think they need to go to Arsenal. They've got some tough games.
It's going to be 11 fixtures.
If you're going,
it's going to be tough fixtures, whatever it takes, aren't they? One way or another, it's relegation.
If you go until the letter of the law, you need 40 points to stay up. Then they need 2 points a game, basically. If they've got 11 left, 11 games, we'll give them 22 points, and that will get them to 40
I've
points.
gone 36, 37 maybe.
Exactly.
But might get away with it. But they've won 1 in 14.
I mean, if you go from the letter of the law, everyone says you've got to get the 40 points to stay in the league, but you don't. But if you're going to do that, they need 2 points a game. Can you see that happening? The answer to that question is no.
No, they're not getting that.
And before you leave us to go on countdown,
Sorry. Although, they don't need to look any further than their opponents tonight for inspiration. The Great Escape, the year after they'd got up through promotion, looked done and dusted. Turned it round, 7 wins out of 9, was it? 1 draw. And then go win the league the next year. So
but where's their Robert Hoof come in? Things changed for Leicester when Robert Hoof came in. Norwich don't have that type of experience, Premier League.
No, you don't see it at all. But in truth, we didn't see it at the time with Leicester, did it? It was on reflection.
Well, no.
But I know what you're saying.
But sometimes you need to bring certain players in that if you know what's going wrong.
They haven't changed, have they?
Then they haven't
That's one criticism the fans throw at the club, and in particular the head coach, Daniel Farke. Never really went out and spent maybe what they should have done in the summer and in January. Never strengthened the squad. I'm like, fair play to him. He gave the lads who got him there an opportunity. They were never going to go out and spend the amount that Aston Villa did. Never.
They're pretty conservative club anyway.
They've done it before. They've been burnt. They've put players on big wages who haven't performed. And I'm full of admiration the way they have done it, because before last season they produced an absolute miracle. No one expected them to run away with it. I thought they'd be in that Championship League for 5, 6, 7 seasons. No one ever envisaged that the players that they bought, they went out. They got Timu Pukki on a free transfer. The young Argentinian Emi Buendia they got from a Spanish second division side for £1.5 million. There's talks about him worth 45, 50 million pounds, even though he hasn't scored a goal this season.
Blooded young Lewis.
Yeah.
Give him his debut.
Young Jamal Lewis has come in.
He's now a full international.
Young Todd Cantwell, he's looked a star in the Premier League, 6 goals for him this season. Max Aarons, I've said that he will go on and play for England. So there are, even though it's been a disappointing season.
You're rattling through loads of like real positives, but they're bottom of the league. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think
you've got to balance.
The answer to your question.
I'm a glass half full man.
No, and you're not wrong with what you say. But when you say about
stats don't lie.
You're
right. Stats
doing
don't
a good
lie.
job, and up to a point, amazing. Sorry, Tags.
No.
In the Championship, and then
You will be.
they compete. They compete. To a level in the Premier League, and they're capable of getting the odd result. The Man Cities, etc., etc. But being able to. Is that naive? Not adjusting?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But it's good, but developing your players individually, they're all developing to a level.
And it all
reputation. Sorry, we've got to hurry this up.
We've got to move on. We'll come back to this very soon, but plenty to get through. We'll take a look at some. Point. We'll get back to you in a minute, Tags. God, blimey. It's like being in court, isn't it? Everyone getting their say.
Told you don't invite 3 of us.
On the way, we'll take a look at some of the other games happening this weekend, but we need to start the punny old game. You've played it before, you and
I'll let you off.
know what
punny
you're
old
doing.
Game, my favourite.
It is time. Norwich, of course.
Canaries.
We've had that, haven't we? We've done birds. So, Gerry's been thinking on that all afternoon as well.
I haven't.
There we go.
I'm just
they're definitely one of the most yellow teams in football. So let's go. For things that are yellow is today's. Things that are your stereotypical yellow things. When you start thinking about it, lots will come. I'll start you off. How about Danny Simpson's?
What about Gerry Taggart's teeth?
And on that note, let's go to the first song of
Matt Elliott's skin.
Pre-match playlist. Today, the pre-match playlist is all about birds. Let's have the Eagles and take it easy.
The sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Lighten up while you still can. Don't even try to understand. Just find a place to make your stand. Take it easy. Well, I'm standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona. It's such a fine sight to see. It
we go. Eagles, take it easy. You're listening to LCFC Radio and the Pre-Match Pint, brought to you by Chang Beer. Just gone 5:15. It's Friday night football in Norwich. Norwich against Leicester City, of course. 8 o'clock kickoff, and we've got coverage for you right throughout the evening. And right now, we're in the middle of the Pre-Match Pint, and we've started the punny old game, and it's all about things that are yellow. Anyone got anything? We've had Neil Lemon come in.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Big fan of that one. We thought this one would come up. Sun Heung-min.
Yeah.
The Sun. Yeah, we'll go with that. How about Marigold Melchior?
Oh, very good.
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
Right back.
I've got a centre half, and that's the only thing I've got down on my book.
Come on.
Shane Duffy Dill.
Shane Duffydale.
No?
I quite like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Please
thought
say
it
yeah,
was
that's the only
gonna
one
be
I've...
the way he approached it, but yeah.
No, I quite
Daffodil?
like that.
Daffodil?
Yeah.
Daffodil, yeah.
Are daffodils yellow? There's
Yeah.
yellow in them, isn't there?
Yeah.
You know
they
they're
are.
yellow.
They're all yellow.
Well, you can get sort of
You could probably get other
whitish
ones,
ones,
yeah.
can't you? But yeah, they're predominantly yellow.
Give me that, yeah.
Give me that. I ain't got any more.
They are in Norfolk land.
Right. Matt.
Right. No.
No. Okay.
Yes, I have. I've got... Right. Tags has advised me on this one. I came up with the idea, and
Okay.
he's finished it off for me. Barry Banananan. Banananan.
Barry.
That's developed his
So
own
we have a
life.
Barry Bannon.
Banana.
Nanan.
Banana.
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 Banana. Something like that.
Barry Banana Nan.
Yeah.
And another one, Ian Buttercupworth.
Ian
Centre
Buttercup.
half, Norwich
Yeah,
used to be.
good
Yeah.
shout.
I thought we weren't doing flowers.
Yellow. The yellow flowers.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, no, that was the other one. Tim's Sunflowers.
There you go, Tim Sunflower. He always comes
He's
up.
always
Of
there.
course
The
he
man
does.
who's always there.
Tags, anything from you?
No, sort of.
You did.
Yeah, Robert Yellow Page, centre half.
Pagey. Play with Pagey.
Okay, we're helping each other out there. I dropped it in. He's finished it up.
Robert Yellow Pages. Yeah. Hey, it's a strong start. It's things that are yellow on the punny old game. Do keep them
I don't know
coming.
why. It just doesn't sound right, but it's worked.
We're going to talk all things Premier League now. So, of course, Leicester's is the first game of the weekend. Let's hear from some of the managers involved in the other fixtures.
The best chance for this team to win and for us to be successful is everybody to be together. Positive in the stadium, support the team. We need decisions to go for us as well, so we need them to be strong. My message is positive, be with the team, stick with the team because the team needs you badly.
We don't think that it is easy for us to take wins. We had a good one now against Aston Villa because we made a really good game, I think, at home, very dominating, and I'm very happy about a few players, how they develop.
I understand and I realise that, yeah, we do need to start winning games again sooner rather than later to continue with the progression. But we're very much in with a fighting chance of retaining our Premier League status, and that's what it's all about.
You know, him and other players when we've changed, whether it be, you know, whether someone's injured or a difference in form, you know, but he's given the problems you want. You want players to come in active, you want them to lay down a mark, and he's certainly done that.
There we go, some of the managers involved in this week's fixtures. We heard from David Moyes giving a message to West Ham fans to get behind their team as they face a bit of a relegation battle at the end of the season. Ralph Hasenhüttl talking about Southampton's good form. We heard Nigel Pearson giving some fighting talk from Watford, of course, as well involved in that relegation fight. They got the easy task of welcoming Liverpool this weekend. And Sean Dyche talking about Vidra taking his chance in the last couple of weeks at Burnley. So this weekend's fixtures are Brighton against Palace tomorrow lunchtime, then it's Bournemouth, Chelsea, Newcastle against Burnley, West Ham against Southampton, and Watford against Liverpool. And on Sunday it's Everton against Manchester United and Spurs against Wolves. Some interesting fixtures. And once again, you're just looking straight down to the relegation battle, aren't you, in the Premier League? It's fascinating, Ewan.
It is. I think, is it from Palace in 15th down? It's any of three. I think the former club Norwich, I think even the supporters after what happened at Molineux last week, where they never really turned up, and that's the first time the white handkerchiefs have come out, and they were bitterly disappointed with that performance. They need a minor miracle to stay up. Watford, after they played Liverpool in the first game under the new manager Nigel Pearson, were unlucky to lose that day. Then they had a really good few games, 4 wins on the spin. It was a good run. Yeah, it was a really good run. But, they went to Villa, lost in the last minute. It was a massive blow for them. The Everton game, when they're 2-0 up and they can concede 2 goals in injury time in the first half, then they go on to lose the game. That was a body blow, and they haven't really recovered from that. And I thought at the time that type of result can put you bang in trouble, and it looks as if it has.
They've done so well, though, Watford, from the position they were in, now just 1 point adrift of safety. And as you said, you got Norwich, Watford, West Ham in those bottom 3.
Brighton,
Villa, Bournemouth, Brighton are not too far in front, are they?
I think Newcastle, Southampton, Palace, and Newcastle probably just about have enough.
Even though Newcastle haven't really, I think they haven't won in 9 or something like that, but they've got enough points on the board already.
Correct.
They need to grind a couple of results out, which takes them to 37, and you can see them. I think they've got a winnable game tomorrow, haven't they, at home?
Yeah, against Burnley they play tomorrow, so that'll be an interesting game. But definitely, you look at Norwich, Watford. They've had that run, haven't they, where they've come up against a few of the top teams, and they had they had what you could probably call was a fortuitous result. Was it away at Villa? And then they've obviously lost to Manchester United, a rejuvenated Manchester United, and unfortunately, as you say, they're coming up against Liverpool. But that's not a foregone conclusion after what we've seen last
Liverpool
weekend.
haven't really spoken about the winter break. They were lucky to beat Norwich.
Yeah,
they were fortunate on, mind you. They find a way, don't they? That's the thing with Liverpool. I don't think they've reached the heights that they did last year. I don't think they've played
interesting
as well.
game though, because like you say, they haven't been firing in all cylinders. They've lost in Napoli in the Champions League. A lucky escape against Norwich. And so this is not
lost to Atletico, didn't they, in the first leg?
That game against
Napoli.
Norwich.
What am I on about? Atletico.
They did lose to Napoli as well in the group stages. You're right.
That game against Norwich. I mean, you say lucky or fortunate, but I didn't see the game. But by all accounts, they deserved to win it. Didn't they? I mean, I know it's a narrow scoreline.
Tim Krul didn't have a lot to do.
I mean,
he made a double save in the second half.
Players sort of saying, their class was. A level above, etc. They were sort of hanging on.
I wouldn't say they were hanging on.
No.
I wouldn't say they were hanging on. First half, not a lot to separate either side. Not too
shows you what Norwich.
Yeah, I mean they were very organised. They were disciplined. They defended deep. They let Liverpool have the ball in certain areas. Never looked like scoring in the first half, Norwich. Although they did have that half a chance where Rupp, the lad on loan, he went through, but he was initially offside anyway when he tried to square it to Pukki.
But they do mix it around a little bit.
Yeah, but it wasn't as if Liverpool absolutely bombarded Tim Krul's goal. He had a double save to make in the second half, 2 great saves to be fair, and then Mane scored with 15, 16 minutes to go. So it's not as if they absolutely battered them like they did in the opening game of the season when went up there and lost 4-1.
They've developed that, haven't they, Liverpool? Because they've got so many options.
Keep going.
If it's not
just
him,
keep
it's
going.
him. It's not him, it's another, isn't it? Not reliant on 1 or 2 players.
Bournemouth-Chelsea is an interesting game because Bournemouth beat Chelsea at the Bridge, didn't they, earlier in the season? And now this game takes on even more significance for the position Bournemouth are in.
They
just
don't
2
like
points.
it, do they? I don't think they like going there, do they, Chelsea? I think they've had a couple of results, Bournemouth at home against Chelsea, but they
have been better away from home, Chelsea. And they lost 7 home games this season. So
and they're scrapping. Yes, an interesting game because they are probably in a scrap in amongst the Bournemouth, and obviously Chelsea are clinging on the 4th spot. With, as I said, a rejuvenate Manchester United side
just
hard
3
on the
points
heels.
off now.
So big game.
Interesting hearing Sean Dyche talking about Vidra. Obviously, come back into the side at Burnley, scored a couple of goals as a striker. What does that do when you've just been given a chance? You've been out in the cold for a while, and then actually to kind of just prove your worth when you've not really been given a chance up until now.
I think he will always score goals. When I first saw him at Reading, I thought he was a tremendous player. Got a good move to Derby. Scored goals for Derby. He's got that little bit of pace about him. He's not the biggest. 2 really good feet, good movement, and it's been hard for him to break in because they've got Woods, they've got the other lad up front because they play with
Rodriguez.
So it's been hard for him to break in. And all you can do is take your chance when you've been given the opportunity, and that's what he's done. He's showed what quality that he's got. I mean, the goal against Southampton at St Mary's was an absolutely magnificent goal, and the other one that he got wasn't too bad either. So he deserves running the side now, and
he's a good squad player. He was a very good championship player, Vidra. He really was. He didn't quite happen for him when he moved up the Premier League, but he's always somebody. When you're missing your Ashley Barneses or your Chris Woods, that can
he's
come in.
He's different to them as well,
isn't he? He's a different type of player because he has got really quick feet and he's really sharp and he's lively in and around the box. But I think he, at times, when I've seen him, he just lacks that physical presence like Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes gives you. But he's a different type of player, a good squad player for a Premier League team like Burnley.
Good afternoon to Angela, who's been in touch saying we're here and footy ready. Come on, the Blue Army. Glad you had a safe trip to Norwich. And if you are on your way, then do take it easy. Not a nice day for travelling, so make sure you got plenty of time to get to Carrow Road. Of course, 8 o'clock kickoff. Brian says, I hope we can put our chances away tonight with some clinical finishing and not squander anything like we have been doing recently. We'll talk more about Leicester's preparation for tonight's game. We'll also hear from the manager as he celebrates 1 year at Leicester City. More on that on the way very shortly. We are, of course, playing the punny old game, Things That Are Yellow. That is tonight's theme, and we'll play a bit more of that after our second song. It's all about birds on the playlist. The Pigeon Detectives. This is I'm Not Sorry.
Things would never change, but sometimes they get rearranged. I know that you know all along. You said I could keep you safe, then up and left without a trace. I know that you I'll never take it back. I'll never take it back. I didn't mean to make you cry.
we go, the Pigeon Detectives. I'm not sorry. It's just gone 5:30 on LCFC Radio. We'll play a little bit more of the funny old game because it's causing a bit of an argument in the studio. More on that very shortly after your latest news update.
You're listening to LCFC Radio.
A passenger on the Diamond Princess cruise ship has become the first British person to die from coronavirus. Japan's health ministry says the man was under quarantine there. Meanwhile, 2 more people have been diagnosed with COVID-19 in England and 1 in Wales. And the first guests have been allowed to leave a quarantined hotel in Tenerife. Although our correspondent Laura Bundock, who's there, says it's not clear if any British tourists are among them.
There is a slight problem here because one of the tour operators, Jet2, has said it will not fly any British person home unless they have sat out the full 14-day quarantine period. They said that is to prevent any potential spread of the coronavirus.
Fears about the spread of the virus has now wiped £210 billion off the value of the UK's biggest firms in just 5 days. The FTSE 100's seen its worst week since the financial crisis in 2008. A man's been handed a life sentence for murdering a retired lecturer with a crossbow. 39-year-old Terence Wall was found guilty of killing Gerald Corrigan in North Wales last year. Some parts of Wales and northern England could see up to 8 centimetres of rain today as Storm Jorge hits Britain. Strong winds are forecast for much of the UK tomorrow, reaching 70 miles per hour in coastal areas. Flooding along parts of the River Severn's expected until at least Sunday. Tim Norton from the Environment Agency is defending their response in Ironbridge in Shropshire, which has been badly hit.
The Environment Agency's actions this week have protected 34,000 properties from flooding, and through the winter it's 127,000. So although some people have flooded, and that is a tragedy for them, and our thoughts are with them and we will work with them, actually we've done a lot to protect many, many other people as well.
And Greta Thunberg's warned world leaders she'll not be silenced while the world is on fire. The teenage climate activist then led a protest through Bristol. That's the latest. I'm Elizabeth Secker.
LCFC.com, Facebook and Twitter. You're listening to the Pre-Match Pint, brought to you by Chang Beer.
Yes, welcome back to the show, or if you are just joining us, welcome to the show. It is the Pre-Match Pint on LCFC Radio with me, Lewis Mason, and joining me in the studio, Gerry Taggart, Matt Elliott, and also Iwan Roberts as well. Right, Pre-Match Pint, funny old game. Any advances? Matt, you had a bit of a question. You said, is a chip yellow? And I think,
No.
But
he's down on me tonight.
Yeah, I know.
Can we put Ewan in the middle, please? He's bothering me.
The answer is no. We're not looking at children's books.
If it was
a chip is not yellow.
Golden yellow.
Yeah. So I'm going to say that you can have a yellow chip, because if it was,
hopefully those chips are having a bit of yellow-ish, not green.
Because I've got one that is on the same thought process with a lion.
I knew there was a reason you were agreeing with me.
A lion?
So
you would say it's
soft
gold, but actually it would be yellow, wouldn't it?
Yeah, take it back.
So lion, all messy, yeah?
That's not bad.
Oh, look at him
that ain't bad.
sitting on the fence again.
Yeah. Go on then, Chip Boy, what do you got?
Oh, it wasn't that bothered, really. Liam Chippy Brady, that was his nickname. Yeah?
No.
Liam Brady?
No.
Can't believe you're not giving it.
John Sweet Cornforth.
I've got that.
John Cornforth, yeah.
I've got that. John Cornforth.
Yeah.
I've got 2, but there's a bit of a bird theme going on.
Okay. Go on then.
Right. Sounds interesting.
Ian Yellow-Legged Thrush instead of Thrush.
I like that. See, you don't even like that.
Yeah.
I do.
And a former Leicester player, Ben Yellowhammer Hamer. Is that any good? Is it Ben Hamer?
Yes.
Former goalkeeper? Yeah.
What, Yellow Hammer
Ben
Hamer?
Yellow
Which one
Hammer.
is
It's
it?
a bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bird.
Yeah.
Yellowhammer Hamer.
Why don't you just say Yellow Hamer?
Okay, well, yeah. I just wanted to know what bird it was.
A Yellow Hammer Hamer.
But does he take tin sunflowers out? That's the thing.
No.
It can be. To be fair, he's always been a reserve. Oh,
Yeah.
not being horrible.
It's too late, mate.
You said it now.
I'll let Ben
Fee
know that.
says, what about Mason Mount?
Not bad at all,
That's
yeah.
not bad from Fee.
Yeah.
We'll jot that one down.
Maisie.
Yeah.
That reminds me of a story back in the day, Gerald.
Does it?
Over in Vegas? No. Where were we?
Vegas?
No, we weren't.
No, we weren't. No.
Memphis, baby, wasn't it? Memphis.
Is it? I don't
We
think
won't
it's-
declare.
I don't- yeah,
I
I
won't
think
divulge
we'll leave
it. I've
that
got
one.
a couple anyway. Anyone else got any?
Jose Yellow Submarino has come in from our Sam producer.
Yeah, that's beating me. I was trying to get Submarine. I was going into Mariner.
Okay.
Oh, Submariner, Submariner, but that's better.
Well, I'll tell you
better.
what. Keep thinking.
I've got another one.
Go on,
I've
then.
got one.
Go on, Sags.
Cheddar Evans.
Yes.
Up front.
Oh, yeah.
It's very good. It's very good.
That one, didn't you?
Yeah. Go
I
on,
got
then,
this one. You'll like this. Chris, someone else with your first name, although it's their second name. Not many of us will know this. Chris Gerald, Bart Simpson Williams. Oh, that's not bad. Come on. Come on. Chris Gerald, Bart Williams.
Where's this
Simpson.
going?
Bart
This game.
Simpson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly where.
Bart Simpson. It was yellow.
Yeah, they are. Yes.
Come on.
Well,
Surely.
I gave you Danny
I worked
Simpson's
hard.
earlier.
1, 2, 3. Oh, well.
Come on.
Mine's more inventive, isn't it? There's 5 names in there.
Right, I'll tell you what. Keep thinking on it. While in the meantime, I take a look at what's happening in the local non-league scene. So, following Coalville Town's excellent 1-0 victory over AFC at Rushden and Diamonds last Saturday, the Ravens were looking for back-to-back victories on Tuesday evening. However, their game was postponed due to a waterlogged pitch. Tomorrow they'll try again, this time away at Kings Langley. Meanwhile, having returned from the East Coast last weekend with a point, having drew 1-1 with Leicester, Barwell will be looking to take maximum points when they entertain bottom of the table Redditch United at Kirkby Road tomorrow afternoon. Previewing this one for us, it's Simon Matheson.
Barwell will be looking to end February unbeaten as they round off the month with a visit from Redditch United. Redditch, having gone so long without a win, won last time out against Nuneaton, and Barwell will know they'll have to be at their best to get a result.
In the Northern Premier League South East Division, Loughborough Dynamo make the journey to Shropshire tomorrow afternoon to take on Market Drayton. Looking forward to this one is Kieran King.
Loughborough are looking to make it 6 games unbeaten on Saturday afternoon. After already facing Drayton this season, Dynamo scored a huge 7-0 win after leading by 4 goals at the break. Drayton currently sit bottom of the division, having won just 4 league games all season.
Elsewhere in the Midland Football League Premier Division, 4th placed Heather St John's host second from bottom Lye Town, whilst in the United Counties League Premier Division, 6 points now separate the top 4. Quorn went top after putting 5 past Wellingborough Town last weekend. The lead extended in midweek to 4 points as their game with Anstey Nomads went ahead despite postponements elsewhere. 2 early second half goals meant the only game that survived the weather on Wednesday resulted in a 2-0 victory, and after the game we caught up with Quorn's assistant first team manager Phil Chamberlain.
Battled really well. You can see why they've been unbeaten for the last 8 games. They're quick, they've had good tempo. We were quite at the races. Second half we came out with the intensity, fight, winning the first balls, winning the second balls. I think the second half obviously we clearly dominated and the result took care of itself.
Whilst Quorn travel to Oadby Town tomorrow afternoon, 2nd place Loughborough University make the journey to 8th place Leicester Nirvana. Here's Mayank Kabadi.
Loughborough come into this game having won their last 2 out of 3 league games and currently sit 2nd in the table. 3 points are crucial for the Scholars to keep up with the pack competing for the top spot. Currently, Con sit on top 4 points above Loughborough but have played 2 more games.
Finally, of the other UCL Premier Division games, Shropshire Dynamo travel to Rothwell Corinthians, Harbour Town are away at Boston Town, Lutterworth Town entertain Pinchbeck United, whilst Anstey Nomads complete tomorrow's 3 o'clock kickoffs away at Coganhoe United. And we have just heard that Coalville Town's game against Kings Langley has been postponed due to a waterlogged pitch. Good luck to the games that do survive the weather this weekend.
The Pre-Match Pint, brought to you by Tang Beer.
Right, you've had a couple of minutes. Anything come to mind?
I'm done now.
Oh, we're still doing that?
Just seeing.
Cheddar Evans is. I'm just
retiring.
I've gone to the top drawer.
Can't get it
pulled
higher.
out my joker. And now go and beat that YouTube. And by the sounds of it, what I've just heard in the last 5 minutes, they're not beating them.
Well, we will come back to the funny old game in a little while. If you are just joining us, it's all about things that's in yellow today.
Have you heard him? He's voting himself top dog, isn't he, there?
You lot today.
Chris Gerald, Williams. I mean,
yellow
tail, yellow leg.
That's not. At least that's got yellow in it.
Yeah, it has, to be fair.
Well,
and then he's on about Chippy the Chippy. You know,
it was better than that before that, Ian Buttercupworth.
Let's hear from Brendan Rodgers. He's been at Leicester City.
Has he got any ideas,
now.
Brendan?
Here we go.
You come in as a manager, it's to continue to develop and grow the club, and that's all we've tried to do since we've come in. Players have been brilliant. Support around the club for me has been fantastic, and that gives you obviously the freedom to work. So yeah, our job was to come in and look at the identity of the team and try and bring a game that the supporters can enjoy watching and ultimately allow the team to succeed. So we have still a lot of work to do, but the first year the players have been absolutely first class.
Yeah, it's not been a bad reign for Brendan Rodgers so far at Leicester City. How would you sum it up, Matt?
Well, I think he's covered it pretty well there, hasn't he? As he sees how things have developed and what he was hoping and aspiring to achieve, probably over a longer course of time than has been the case, because certainly, even at this point now, they're well ahead of schedule, aren't they? If you offered them the opportunity to be 9 points clear of 5th position at this stage of the season, everyone's absolutely not just delighted, they're astounded, aren't they, really? As we said it many times before, Leicester are expected to apply a bit of pressure maybe on the top 6, see where it takes them, be the best they can, as Brendan often says. But they've exceeded that, haven't they, by some distance, even with the stuttering form of late. But you have to look at the bigger picture. Obviously a massively important stage of the season. Now there's some, I'd say, big games, every Premier League game is that. But they've got, I think, quite an interesting closure to the season there. All the teams, bar, I wouldn't consider Everton, possibly some people would, Europa League candidates, possibly, outsiders, and Crystal Palace. Other than that, so 9 games are either against direct relegation contenders, or Europa/Champions League challengers. So there's going to be something to play for in every game. So there's still a lot of hard work to be done. But, conversely against that, obviously all the other teams have got to play each other. So, but there's a big opportunity now with this run of games that they've got over the next 4-game period to, without being complacent, of course, never the case, and tonight is a pointing case for that. But there's an opportunity to go and pick up some points over the next 4 games and get back into their stride properly. I don't think they've gone too far away from that. They haven't. A couple of times they've come up short against the bigger teams, which is an area to look at for the progress down the line. But by and large, they haven't been a million miles off. They haven't clicked like they properly did in that superb first half of the season. But I think they have a capability to get back into that stride. And I think tonight you'll see them. I don't know, but I think you'll see them adopt a similar approach to how they were, certainly in terms of system, probably, in the lineup, but also in the attitude that they've got there. Because I think they've just got, I don't know, the edge has been missing a bit from the game, Tags, isn't it? And I think now's the time. Be positive, be confident, take the ball by the scruff of the arms. You're 9 points clear of where you need to be. What a wonderful position that is. And on any given weekend, people say the pressure's on Leicester, but Leicester go and win tonight, say for instance, and Man U, let's say, I know it's happened quite a lot recently, and Leicester haven't capitalised, but Man U, albeit on a good run, lost. Tottenham lost, Sheffield United lose. All of a sudden that gap is 12, 13 points, and then they ain't catching them. So they've got that incentive, that drive, whereas Man U have got to keep winning. And, it's up to Leicester to deal with the situation.
I'll tell you what, we'll talk more about that and Brendan Rodgers' reign very shortly. We'll also catch up with the guys at Carrow Road who will be part of the Matchday live team, which is here from 7 ahead of an 8 o'clock kickoff. Right then, let's go back to the pre-match playlist. It's all about birds, so let's have a bit of Robin. LCFC Radio. You're listening to the Pre-Match Pint, brought to you by Changdeer. Just coming up to 10 to 6. We are playing the punny old game. Thank you for everyone who's been getting in touch. Pete says Steve Yellowstone.
Steve Stone.
Yellowstone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not bad.
We've done a bit of a collaboration, Tax.
Yeah, we have,
And
to be fair.
Go on,
but
Tax.
you are the person who's going to...
Well, he's an
All the best.
ex-teammate of mine.
Yeah.
Centre forward.
And mine as well.
Oh, did you play
Yeah,
with him as
Gillingham,
well?
yeah.
Gillingham.
Really
Gillingham,
nice
yeah.
lad. Really nice lad.
Really nice guy.
Horrible to play against.
Oh, yeah.
But he was soft as.
Yeah, no, you
he was
see that.
big.
It's just awkward, isn't it?
Just never used his size.
Yeah, you're right. His name was Mamadi Sidibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
the play
did
on
you hear
words,
that? That's his name, Mamadi
but the play on words is Mama JC Beatty.
Yes.
JC Beatty.
We've got that.
Yeah.
He's so unimpressed, isn't he?
No, because he can't pull one out of the bag.
okay.
That's why.
Resentful. I am resentful.
So you got your front two.
Yeah.
Cast in stone.
I think that's it.
Cheddar
Tax,
Evans,
yeah,
brilliant.
That's that one. Yeah, we got that.
Oh, you were involved in that, were you?
Yeah.
Shock.
Ewan kept one to himself, bit of a secret.
I was just writing it down.
I wish he had.
Yeah.
I went out to write it down.
Go on then, Ewan, what you got?
Instead of Jack Jack Butterland.
Oh. Magnificent. That's magnificent.
Get away, you
How have
two.
you got that so quickly? It only took you 50 minutes.
Did you get it? No, you didn't.
But still, we're not allowed, in this game, it's an unwritten rule, you're not allowed to take Tim Flowers out.
Yeah,
so
that's fine.
I'm afraid Tim
Tim is
Flowers
staying there.
does stay. Let's pick up on what we were talking about. Obviously, Brendan Rodgers being here for a year. Not much has changed personnel-wise in terms of playing staff at Leicester. So what has changed?
From before he was here. It's, well, you could say slightly the style of play. You could say that Claude Puel implemented a style of play that's very reminiscent of what you see today. But what's changed is the speed in which it takes the ball to get from the back to the front, the speed in which the players close the ball down when they lose it, and how Jamie Vardy's been utilised in the main, which is he's not chasing every ball. It's more a collective, i.e. there's a trigger point on the pitch, and that when that trigger is set, everyone goes together. We didn't see that under Claude. We just seen him. I suppose an easy fashion for coaches and managers is to get everyone back in a good shape and sort of half-heartedly go and try and win the ball back when they're all set in that shape. Whereas now it's there's a bit more urgency when you're resetting in your shape, and there's a bit more urgency when the trigger is set to win the ball back. So all those things combined, and I think the full-backs are given a lot more license to go forward as well. Well, when you've got two full-backs like Leicester have, then that's going to happen. You have to utilise that as an attacking threat because they are so fit and so good at going forward to Pearl.
People looking forward a lot earlier as well, aren't they?
Everything's played a lot earlier. Under Claude, it was
two holding midfielders.
Yeah, two holding midfielders. And a lot of European-style managers that come here, they're used to playing a game of cat and mouse on the continent. So it's all about wait for the gap, wait for the opening, keep the ball moving side to side or try and go forward. But if the gap's not there, recycle the ball. Where now it's more about when you're in that position, I want you to drive at the defence, gaps will appear. That's when you play the ball. That's when you give your give and goes and stuff like that. So it's a lot more urgency going forward.
How impressed have you been with Jamie Vardy and his performance this year? Ewan, he seems to be playing a really clever game and not sprinting everywhere like you used to with Jamie Vardy, but selecting when's the right time to put those runs in.
What is he now, 33 now, 32, 33? Yeah. So you have to adapt, you have to be sensible. I mean, he would chase a bit of paper out there, wouldn't he? Let's be honest. That's what his game's about. He'll chase lost causes. He'll make good balls he'll make bad balls into good ones with his endeavour and enthusiasm. But when you're getting older, you know, something has to give. You can't keep chasing things down. You can't keep chasing centre halves and right backs and left backs. You've got to conserve your energy. Because you're getting older. I'm not surprised at the amount of goals he has. He's still electrifyingly quick. I'm surprised he's gone on this barren spell, I have to say. What hasn't scored since his goal at the Etihad, am I right? Yeah. the chance he had against Man City 99 times out of 100, he slots that away. But he's the type of centre forward. He'll score a goal, and then he'll go on and score in the next 5 or 6 games. So I'm not surprised by the level of his performance.
We've seen a bit of frustration creeping in where he has done exactly what Ewan said he doesn't do.
Because he wants to go.
Yeah, because he gets frustrated because he's not in the game. So he goes and he starts chasing down, where that's not his game. His game is the point of that group, those group of players that close down the gallop. But when he gets frustrated, sometimes you just see it creeping in where he'll just go and chase the keeper down and force him into, or if he's chasing the game, he'll just go off the cuff and say, I'm just going to close him down, see what happens, because we need the ball back.
He could get a lot of success tonight because of the way Norwich will play at home, with both full-backs bombing on.
Yeah, that's what I was sort of mentioning
earlier
about
on,
very quickly earlier. Yeah, with Norwich having to go for broke, really. They do play attacking majority of the time anyway. It's now or never. A draw's not even that good to them, is it? They need to win. The fullbacks bomb on. Could be tailor-made for Vardy. We've said that a few
They need to win all their home games, don't they, Norwich, between now and the end of the season. Basically, you would suggest that they need to take maximum points at home and pick up a couple of draws, 1 win maybe away from home, if they're going to have any chance whatsoever. And as Matt says, if Leicester play it right tonight, that'll play into their hands.
They have had some good results at home.
Yeah,
we've mentioned the Man City one. They should have beaten Spurs on Boxing Day. They had a 2-2 draw with Arsenal. Their best performances probably have come against the better sides when they played at Carrow Road.
Just back on Jamie Vardy, Aubameyang has kind of equalled things up at the top scorers list. Do you look at that stuff as a striker?
Oh, of course you do. After every game, especially if you're the top striker and you've got a chance of that golden boot. You're desperate for it. You're desperate to finish top scorer. Whether Jamie does, I don't know, because he's been so consistent for the past 5, 6, 7 years now with his goals tally. But yeah, he'll want to finish top of that list come the end of the season.
Hopefully some more goals in store for Jamie Vardy tonight. It is Norwich against Leicester City at Carrow Road. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff. We'll have full commentary for you. And of course, Matchday Live follows us. First time you'll hear the team news is on Matchday Live at 7 o'clock. Right, on the way, a history lesson with Hutch. We'll hear some memories from the boys as well about their time playing against Norwich, or maybe playing for Norwich against Leicester in Iwan's case. But on the way next, another song, bird related, on our pre-match playlist. Counting Crows.
I was down at the New Amsterdam, staring at this yellow-haired girl. Mr. Jones strikes up a conversation with a black-haired flamenco dancer. You know she dances while his father plays guitar. She's suddenly beautiful, and we all want something beautiful. Man, I wish I was beautiful. So come dance the silence down through the morning. Sha la 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 la, yeah. Yeah. Cut up Maria, show me some of them Spanish dances, and pass me a bottle, Mr. Jones. Believe in me,
LCFC Radio with Counting Crows and Mr. Jones. You're listening to the Pre-Match Pint ahead of Norwich against Leicester. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff, but from 7 you will have the Matchday Live team live from Carrow Road. Dan Bates and Tony Cotty. We can say good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Oh, you're there. You've arrived safely.
Just about, only just. Some of us were here earlier than others.
I can
That's all
imagine
I can say.
TC.
That's all I can say. Some were here
The professional
early.
was here, and
Exactly,
yeah, the
yeah,
amateurs arrived in late. Yeah,
Shouldn't have had those 5 wraps at Kentucky at the services, Batesy, should you?
it was only 3, Matt.
Oh, was it? In a rush.
That's you,
were you?
mate. That's not Dan.
So how's wet and windy Norwich? I guess it is just that, isn't it?
Exactly what it is, yeah. It's drizzling the rain. Got to say the pitch is absolutely fantastic, like most of the Premier League pitches are nowadays. And it reminds me of a night when I first done the commentary last year.
Yeah.
And the score then was 9-0. I'm not expecting 9-0 tonight, but it's very, very similar conditions.
What are you expecting tonight, Tony?
I'm expecting a Leicester victory. I want a Leicester victory, and I think it's really, really important that they get that. What I can't predict, I don't think, is how Norwich are going to play, because, you know, for me, they're a strange team. You know, we've already seen them beat Man City here. I think they gave Liverpool a good game. So they're more than capable against the top sides. And you've got to say Leicester are one of the top sides now. So, you know, being in third position, I think they'll be up for the game and that. But you never quite know what you're going to get with Norwich. But from the Leicester point of view, you know, I think it's just go out, you know, do a professional job, get the result, whether that's a 1-0 or 9-0, whatever, doesn't matter, get the result, because it'd be a really, really important 3 points tonight.
Brendan Rodgers is celebrating 1 year at the club. How have things changed in that 12 months?
Well, I think they've changed drastically, really, haven't they? I mean, he's brought his enthusiasm. I really like Brendan, what he's achieved at the club. I like the way his teams play their football. I like the fact he gives the youngsters a chance. You know, pretty much everything. He ticks all the boxes, and you know, it was a brave decision by the club to bring him down from Celtic, but ultimately the right decision. And I think he's taken the club forward, and to be where they are, as you guys well know, whenever I come on the show, whenever I speak about Leicester, to be in a Champions League position, 9 points clear of 5th place, is an incredible achievement at this stage. But it's so important. Do not throw that away. We've seen, you know, points overhauled before. You have a dip and a poor run of form. You lose 4 games on the trot, and all of a sudden someone's breathing down your neck. Leicester cannot afford that to happen. It's been such a good season, and Brendan's been behind most of that.
Tony's joined by Dan Bates on Matchday Live. Dan, what have we got on the programme from 7 o'clock?
You will have team news bang on 7 when you join us for Matchday Live. We'll hear from that man, Brendan Rodgers, as well as the Norwich City manager. And Harvey Barnes was a special guest on this week's Matchday -2, so we'll hear from the Leicester forward.
Can I just say, Batesy, sorry to interject. TC, I owe you one, mate. Thank you for doing the commentary tonight. So I was possibly in line, but you stepped in. Thankfully, I owe you one. Half a lager shandy top is on your way.
I keep bailing you out, Matt, don't I? You know, all these long-distance ones for you, so I'll look after you, mate, don't worry.
Lad, good
it makes a change for me to do the running, because you always used to do the running for me, the rest of the team, so it's now changed round, as you know.
That is a problem if I was doing your running.
There we go, Tony Cotty and Dan Bates at Carrow Road, and they are part of our Matchday Live team from 7, and that will be the first time that we have the team news tonight. Right, let's finish off this punny old game, go through the team that we have come up with somehow tonight. Things that are yellow. In goal, Tim Sunflowers. We got a back 4 of Marigold Melchiot, Robert Yellow Pages, Shane Duffydill, and Ian Buttercupworth. In our midfield, we've got Mason Mount, Barry Banana. Banana.
I'm going off that one.
Neil Lemon and Jose Yellow Submarino. And then up front, Cheddar Evans and Mama JCBD.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful. Front two world class.
And we will be doing it all again on our next episode of the Pre-Match Pint. But as for tonight...
The front two are world class.
I tell you what, let's have a break and a history lesson with Hutch.
Let's look back then at 3 games with Norwich City away from home with club historian John Hutchinson. We'll go all the way back to 1963 and an FA Cup game for the first of the 3 that we look back at.
Norwich 0, Leicester 2, FA Cup 6th round. This match attracted a record crowd of 44,000, which spilled over onto the track. Leicester City side, that was the famous Ice King side. They entered the game in second place in the old First Division, were serious contenders for the title that season, and Norwich were in the Second Division. Leicester were led onto the pitch by Gordon Banks, who had just been selected for England for the first time. Leicester's defence dominated, chances were missed, 0-0 at half-time, but in the 51st minute, Stringfellow scored with a glorious twisting header, and Davy Gibson added a second 12 minutes later. And Leicester went through to the semi-final against Liverpool, and of course got to the final against relegation-threatened Manchester United.
We'll stick with the FA Cup for our next game of the three. This is in 2012.
Here's Nugent. Oh, chance for Nugent! It's 2-1 Leicester City!
February 2012, Norwich won, Leicester 2, fifth round FA Cup. 3 months into Nigel Pearson's second spell as Leicester's manager, his championship side played Premier League Norwich in the FA Cup and took the lead through Sean St Ledger's glanced header from a Ben Marshall corner. Leicester continued to pour forward at every opportunity, but Norwich were handed a respite when Schmeichel conceded a penalty. He saved the penalty, diving to his left, but the ball spun back to Wes Hoolahan, who duly clattered it into an empty net. Moments later, Leicester thought they'd scored again when Wes Morgan's back heel was blocked on the line. Leicester convinced the ball to cross the line, but referee Mike Dean didn't agree. 19 minutes from time, Nugent scored the winning goal. Collected the ball in the Norwich half, evaded a challenge, skipped into the area, cool finish, third goal in 2 games, 13th goal of the season. Norwich threw everything forward, but the best chance in the closing stages fell to Jermaine Beckford, who crashed a left-footed effort against the post.
Well, 2 FA Cup victories there for the Foxes. It's only right we end with a Premier League one, and it comes from a famous season, of course, and a game that I'm sure a lot of the travelling Blue Army will remember well.
Slip again. 2-0. Fabulous goal. Leicester turning defence into attack.
3rd of October 2015, Norwich won, Leicester City 2, title-winning season. They'd lost the previous match 5-2 at home to Arsenal. Claudio Ranieri dropped Riyad Mahrez for the game, with Schlupp pushed forward into midfield and Christian Fuchs starting his first game for Leicester at left-back. And he kept his place the rest of the season. The move paid off because Schlupp proved to be a constant threat. Leicester's energetic high pressing, led from the front by Vardy, caused all sorts of problems for Norwich. Vardy scored his 5th consecutive Premier League goal as part of his record 11-game run, of course. Schlupp doubled the Foxes' lead soon after the break with a cool finish after a scintillating break up the field, which he began himself. Norwich pulled a goal back in the 68th minute, but the home side couldn't find an equaliser despite sustained pressure.
Every step of Leicester City's Premier League campaign. You're listening to LCFC Radio.
There we go, a bit of a history lesson with Hutch. Days gone by against Norwich. Of course, we're getting ourselves ready for tonight's game against Leicester. Norwich in Carrow Road, 8 o'clock kick-off. We have all the team news for you at 7. What are your memories of playing Norwich then? Thanks.
Hard place to go. I remember Matt said it was Boxing Day when we went there.
It seems to have been Boxing Day, yeah, because
we were in the Championship.
I remember more about the hotel than the game.
Yeah, you would say that, wouldn't you? And I think it was a really bitty 0-0, if I can remember rightly. So yeah, always a hard play. I played there over the years with Barnsley and with Bolton as well. But I suppose my sort of nearest memory was going there when we were in the Championship with Leicester, the season we went back up.
What's it like to play as as an opposition player and obviously as a home player?
Good atmosphere.
It's a good place to play. Yeah. I mean, they sell out. I mean, they were selling out in League One a few years ago. 29,000.
Yeah.
I mean, there are plans to redevelop the City stand where the lads will be commentating from tonight. I remember the game I played for Leicester against them at the old Filbert Street in '95. We were 2-0 down after about 15 minutes, and before the game they were in turmoil, Norwich, because Martin O'Neill had just resigned as Norwich's manager because I think he wanted to bring Dean Windass to the club, and they sort of put the kibosh on it, weren't allowed, so he walked away. 2-0 down after about 15 minutes, Darren Eady and Robert Fleck scored, and then Mick Whitlow's hit this free kick from about 25 yards. Honestly, And you're talking about Gunny.
I've seen that goal.
A magnificent.
That doesn't happen too often with Wits,
it's
does it?
right in the stanchion. I mean, Big Gunny couldn't get anywhere near it. And then I've made it 2-2 in front of the Kop with about 25 minutes to go. And then a young Emil Heskey's come on. And he's got onto a back pass. He's took it round Gunny. And so from 2-0 down, 3-2.
So was Martin at the club then?
Martin was at Norwich then.
Yeah. He just left.
With Paul Franklin and Wally. And he resigned that morning. He travelled up with...
So how long until he joined Leicester?
Not long.
Not long.
Not long.
So I mean, I didn't know if it was a straight
I think Leicester was his next job.
Yeah, it
It
was.
3 months, 2 or 3 months, not long at all.
Oh, right,
Not
so
long
there was
at
a
all.
bit of a break,
And had they...
He'd only been at Norwich a couple of months.
I think the chairman at the time was a fellow called Robert Chase. And had he given him the money to sign Dean Windass, probably wouldn't have joined Leicester, do you know what I mean? So, and took you on to
Well done,
what you
Robert.
achieved.
There you go. Matt, any memories of
Dean
playing there?
Windass to thank we have. It would have been different, son.
Yeah.
My time from Oxford, more so, than as a Leicester City player. I remember playing there it was in a replay. I think it was a League Cup tie, early rounds. We drew at the Manor and away at Carrow Road, and then there was I don't know why, there was a bit of animosity hanging over from the first leg. And I think Daz played, Darren Eady, in his younger days, and Adi Akinbaye, of all people, was there as well. Obviously later on, both of them would come to Leicester, unbeknown to us at the time. But there was like 2 red cards from each side, and it was extra time, and we won on penalties. So there was a real animosity at the end and resentment, and it all kicked off in the tunnel. And you hear that sometimes, and there's it's a load of old handbags, as they say, and it's all pushing and shoving. But this time, people half meant it, and there was so it's in the corridor, and there's about 15 or so people in a big melee. The Sky cameras were there, and journalists, and everyone's trying to take pictures. You could hear it all clicking because they couldn't see anything; they were just guessing. It was like in the sort of pit of everything. And then I always remember our captain, Mike Ford, who was a bit of a controversial character. I had a little set to with him in training one day. He was that sort of. His nickname was Busy. That tells you everything you need to know.
And that's not because what he was like on the pitch.
No, exactly. He's just always getting involved and telling people what to do. And in this instance, the opposition, they didn't take kindly to it. And Brian Gunn, who you just mentioned, the goalkeeper, he's got hold of Busy, our captain, and found a stray door was open in the corridor underneath in the tunnel. He's just pulled him in this cupboard with another one of the Norwich players, and 2 of them were giving him digs left, right, and centre. And I've looked at me and another lad shut the door because they weren't that probably God, finish him off in there, and do the business in there, and then
do the business. We're busy.
You're not throwing a little sneaky couple in.
And then a mate of mine, teammate, but a mate as well, David Rush, who's a volatile character, young then. North East lad from Sunderland. He used to play with Sunderland in the FA Cup final against Liverpool back in the day. Shock of blonde hair, but only wispy little, wiry little character, but not scared of anyone. Who's he pick on? Adi Akinbaye. Adi came out. This is my first time I come across him, and he was fuming because I think he got sent off unjustly in his opinion, and he just whipped his top off. And we've seen that when he scored for Leicester. You know, when he celebrated that. He's got some physique, Adi. And he was in the tunnel, just pumped his arms, and the muscles came popping out with the veins and everything. He went, "Who's having it then?" And I decided to intervene and mediate on that instance.
Shut up. It sounded like Norman Wisdom.
I was terrified, mate. Well, I can't say how Adi said it. Who's having it then? That was Peter Taylor, that wasn't it? Norman Wisdom. It wasn't very terrifying, was it? No, but Adi came and everyone was like, "Whoa. Right, enough's enough, lads." We're in front of the cameras. We're in cameras. Call it off.
It's just coming up to 6:15. You're listening to LCFC Radio. On the way, a bit of a game for you, gents, and you're going to be out for yourselves. It is each of you for yourselves in our next game, which is called Let's Be Avenue. More on that after this. You're going to love a bit of this, Matt.
That's what Andy said. Let's be Avenue. Let's be Avenue.
If we're going to have a bird-related song, Matt, and we're going to have one about doves, what we're going to go for?
It's got to be Prince, isn't it?
I was going to go more for Madness.
Oh, right. For the wings of a dove.
Let's have a bit of that.
Whoa, whoa.
Oh, there we go. Madness aren't ready. We're just
just
getting you excited. It is Wings of a Dove.
Wolsey didn't know it. Dove from above.
That was in the panel game.
Wolsey didn't know what was going on there, did he?
We will have that very shortly, but I'll explain the game that we're going to be playing. So Let's Be Having You, obviously very famous with Delia, of course. Let's have a listen. Obviously wanted the Norwich fans to get behind their team, and we are looking at the attendances. It's an attendance game with the fans getting behind their teams. I've picked a few of the clubs, and it's going to be average attendance nearest the pin for this season so far. So I'll give you the name of the club, and you'll have to have a little guess at their average attendance. We will do that in a little while. I think we've got Madness ready to roll now. Let's have it.
By the Wings of a Dove.
Take time for your pleasure and laugh with love. Take the hand of another and sing for the wings of a dove. Whoa, whoa, for the wings of a dove. Whoa, whoa, for the wings of a dove. Look up at the rooftops when you're walking round. Don't think for a moment of looking down. Whoa, whoa, yeah, yeah, yeah. For the wings of a dove. Whoa, whoa, for the wings of a dove. Whoa, whoa, for the wings of a dove. Whoa, whoa, for the wings of a dove. Look up at the rooftops when you're walking round. Don't think for a moment of looking down. A room at the top where we're not allowed. Cheer to the echo. Can you hear the sound? Whoa, whoa, yeah, yeah, yeah. For the wings of a dove. Whoa, whoa, yeah, yeah, yeah. For the wings of a dove. Whoa, whoa, for the wings of a dove. Whoa, whoa, for the wings of a dove.
You're listening to LCFC Radio. It's the Pre-Match Pint brought to you by Chang Beer. Just coming up to 20 past 6. Matchday live on from 7. And full commentary of Norwich against Leicester live from Carrow Road from 8 o'clock. Right then, it's time for a little bit of a game. And it's all about this. Delia famously asking where the fans are, and we're going to be playing a bit of nearest the pin with average attendances in the Premier League. We've got a few to run through, and it's all out for yourselves. You're going to write it down because I need evidence that you haven't just guessed off someone else's guess. So the first one I'm going to go for, Manchester United. What's their average attendance at Old Trafford? Manchester United. Pick a number out and go with that one. Obviously, play along.
Is this
with
Premier League games?
Yeah. Premier League average attendance.
What? In
this season.
For one game? Or
This on average over the season, this season so far.
For one crowd, their average individual crowd
There you go.
at home.
Yeah. Nice little one down there. Yeah, make a note of that. Right, Arsenal is your next club we're going for. How many at the Emirates? Today's opponents for Leicester City at Carrow Road.
Hang on.
Are you still thinking?
Got time to ponder and
All right,
consider.
all right. Manchester United and Arsenal first up. Do play along with these and see if you could be the nearest the pin. when we reveal the answers very shortly.
Sorry, so Norwich.
Tonight's opponents, Norwich. They're your third club. Who else shall we have in the mix? We're going to put the champions in there. Manchester City. How many are they getting to their games on average this season?
Ooh.
And we'll have a fifth one of Leicester City. How many at the King Power on average so far this season? So nearest the pin on these: Manchester United, Arsenal, Norwich, Man City and Leicester. They're the clubs we're going to go for. Matt has his answers down. Gerry has his. Iwan's got his. So let's go to Manchester United. Left to right. Iwan, start us off.
I've gone for 73,500.
73,500. Tags, what you gone for?
71. I put exactly the same down and scrubbed the right one. 71,500.
71,500. Matt?
I've gone 72,395.
72,395. I don't know why you're laughing.
It's the 395. Yeah.
The first point goes to Iwan. It's 73,400. You're just 100 out.
No, look.
Why did you change your mind?
73,500 and
Why did you change your mind, though?
There you go.
I don't know.
Because you're an Egypt.
There we go. Okay,
correct.
Iwan takes that one. 1-0 up. Arsenal then. Matt, starting with you.
61,000.
61,000.
Might be a tad high, is it? I don't know.
52,750.
Oh,
52,750. And how about you, Iwan?
59,000.
59,000, which makes Matt Elliott the winner.
Get
it's
in.
60,275. It was close between you and Matt, but Matt takes that
Matt.
one.
I thought I'd overcooked it there.
1 point for
Tags
you
gonna
and
join
1
in, or
point
what?
for Matt.
Yeah.
Nothing from Tags. Right, tonight's opposition, Norwich. What are we going for?
Hang on, Tags put down
26,850.
26,850. Okay, you say
You
it's
just
more.
said they sell out.
So you and you're saying higher?
I'm going to go 27,700.
27,700.
You've only gone less than 1,000 than me.
What did you go?
26,850. You've only gone 900 people or something like that, so it's not more than
only
that.
1,000 people.
Go on, just crack on, mate.
Matty?
27,000. I could say 701, couldn't I? But I didn't. 843.
Did you put 3?
843.
He does.
You did?
Do you know what? You've gone the wrong way.
It's
Iwan's again. 27,026 is.
Tags went far off then.
Not too far off. No.
No.
Wait.
I won it.
Have you got the maths right?
26,850.
Tags won.
26,850.
I won it.
It is tax, sorry.
See?
There you go.
Oh, yeah, 28 dollars. More than that. More than that. And yeah. Bingo. Big boys in the game.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. Before he hadn't been paid his wages or something.
Thank you.
Hang on a minute, what's happening?
Job done.
Thank you for your quick maths as well there, Tags. Manchester City, what are we going for, Iwan?
49,800.
49,800. What do you think, Tags?
42,100.
42,100, going lower.
I've gone,
Go on, Matt.
this time I've gone bang on, even 50,000.
You've gone for 50,000, and you would be right to, because you've got a point, because it's 54,219. Matt takes the lead.
You're 12,000 out, son.
It don't matter, I'm on the board.
Shows you how lucky you were with the other
killing
one.
me.
So we need a Iwan or Tags win to take it to a tie break, and we're going for Leicester City. Matty.
31,700.
31,700. Can I get a raise on that or a lower on that?
31,900.
31,900. And Iwan?
I don't like the fact you said raise on that. That's just that it is higher.
I've gone for 35,000.
It's gone for
Oh,
35.
you buffoon. No, it's only 32. 32 and a bit is the max, isn't it? I heard that the weekend.
It is 32,057.
Oh, Taggart again.
Gerry Taggart.
31,900.
So, Iwan eliminated. Tags against Matty for the final decider.
It's some decent guesses, though.
I think
To be fair, if
close,
you're
isn't it?
under it, you shouldn't get a point, I don't think. Let's just...
I know, but
But
are you going to join in?
You
joining in today?
That aged well, didn't it? Right, Matt against Tags. Let's
I've
go.
got to write it down.
For the new stadium of Tottenham Hotspur. What could it be? Spurs' new ground, first season in it. What kind of numbers do you think there? Okay, we'll go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We'll go with Tags.
61,250.
65 I've gone.
61, all right, we haven't asked you yet. 61,250. 65, what, 65 people?
Just bang, 65,000.
What was Arsenal? 61? You've won it.
Yeah, so Matty's going for 65,000 average attendance at Spurs. And the win for Gerry Taggart, it's 59,485.
59,000.
He's gone low every time.
I think you'll find I've joined the party, boys. And I've taken the spoils.
59,000 new stadium like that.
Well, the best two names in the punny old game I've taken, guess the attendance.
Only the best two. I'll give you
3, 2, 1. Sweet.
26 minutes past 6. You're listening to LCFC Radio ahead of Norwich against Leicester City. On the way, we'll get a news update for you. And also, if you've not seen it on the website, an exciting new documentary from Leicester City. We'll hear more about that after this. Another song related to a bird. Let's have a pelican from the Maccabees.
Somewhere too old to carry, and we knew it, and we knew it, and we knew we only had a little while. In the middle, in the middle, in the middle, just keep ticking over. Before you know it, before you know it, before you know it, parent to parent. For sure, we're all getting older. So we take a lover, so we take a lover, so we take a lover waiting in the corner. And before you know it, before you know it, before you know it, pushing up the daisies. And we go back to where we came from. Those before and those to come to know it's the effort and the more. And again and again and again and again we go. In the end, in the end, in the end, nothing comes easy. So you find a way, so you find a way, so you find a way to take a little with you. For the ones you love, for the ones you love, for the ones you love, there if they need to. Pharaoh, they're not coming with you. Go back to where we came from. But those before and those to come and know it's the effort and the more. And again and again and again and again go. Soon went too old to carry, and we knew it, and we knew it, and we knew we only had a little while. In the middle, in the middle, in the middle, just keep ticking over. Before you know it, before you know it, before you know it, parent to parent, go back to where we came from. And those before and those to come and know.
You're listening to LCFC Radio. It is the Pre-Match Pint playing the Maccabees and Pelican. Just gone 6:30. Lots of people getting in touch. Thank you for your messages. Just had one come in asking, is Tags chair dancing? Well, he's just celebrating.
Yeah.
Big victory.
Every victory, even as hollow as it is, a victory is a victory. And you have to celebrate your wins.
On the way, we'll be talking about the new Leicester City documentary, which is now on the Leicester City website. More on that after your latest news update.
You're listening to LCFC Radio.
A cruise ship passenger in Japan has become the first British person to die from coronavirus. He's the 6th victim of the outbreak on the Diamond Princess. 3 more cases have been confirmed in the UK, 2 in England and 1 in Wales. After being criticised for a lack of leadership on the issue, Boris Johnson says COVID-19 is now the government's top priority, and he's issued this advice.
Wash our hands for 20 seconds or more with hot water and soap. And that's the best single piece of advice we can give.
Meanwhile, the president of football's world governing body has hinted next month's international friendlies might have to be scrapped because of the virus. Among the games in March, England have Wembley contests with Italy and Denmark. The Foreign Secretary has condemned the killing of at least 33 Turkish soldiers in Syria yesterday. NATO's urging Syria and Russia to stop their airstrikes, which are causing people to flee towards Greece. A man has died after being chased and attacked by a man with an axe in Partington in Greater Manchester. A 31-year-old has been arrested on suspicion of murder. Greta Thunberg's warned global leaders she won't be silenced while the world is on fire. Speaking at a march in Bristol, the 17-year-old said politicians were acting like children and ignoring the looming climate disaster. Tens of thousands of students skipped school to go, including Daisy.
The atmosphere was incredible. Everyone was having so much fun. It was amazing to be around so many like-minded young people who are so passionate about climate change. And to listen to Greta speak was also so inspiring.
Some parts of Wales and northern England are being warned of more heavy rain as Storm Jorge hits Britain. Strong winds are forecast for much of the UK tomorrow, reaching 70 miles per hour in coastal areas. Flooding along parts of the River Severn's expected. That's the latest. I'm Elizabeth Secker.
The Pre-Match Pint, brought to you by Tang Beer.
Yes, welcome along. If you're just joining us, it's the Pre-Match Pint on LCFC Radio with me, Lewis Mason, Gerry Taggart, Matt Elliott and Iwan Roberts as we get ready for Norwich against Leicester live from Carrow Road. And we've got all the build-up and full match commentary from 8 o'clock. Harry's been in touch, hoping for a great game. If Iheanacho is fit, he must play, playing great under Rodgers. Thoughts on Iheanacho, Gerry? Because, you know, maybe this time last season, those kind of messages weren't coming in.
Yeah, and, you know, I think he played 3 at the back against Manchester City, Brendan, but the front 2 have worked this season when that has happened. And that always hasn't necessarily been the case with Kelechi, but definitely he's been a massive improvement. And again, you know, I thought he might have got on against Wolves, but obviously things conspired for that not to happen, i.e. the sending off of Hamza. But he started on Saturday and I thought he'd done well. I thought he did really well. And then obviously he had to go off with a head injury. But yeah, it would not surprise me. You know, he's got
goals. What do you think tonight, Tags? Because
who knows?
What transpires against him is Leicester's formation more often than not.
No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And Brendan Moore will not play 4-4-2. There's no doubt about that. He's not a 4-4-2 manager. He will not play that. So that is a case in point. But it's.
Well, he has done occasionally, very occasionally, for the Diamond.
The Diamond, too, yeah.
But
played that at Villa, didn't you?
Yeah. Played
when
a
you
Diamond.
4-1.
Yeah, played a Diamond. So it's all about how he analyses how Norwich will play and how he sets up the break, whatever Norwich bring to the table. So there's no point, really. Probably Ewan's the best one to ask that question because he'll know more about the way Norwich plays and whether a Diamond would suit it, whether a 3-5-2 would suit it.
I think with those fullbacks that are bombing forward, I mean, there's a case for both, a front 2 or a front 3, as they often are. But I think those wide players, Barnes probably and another, whether it's Perez or whoever, can expose them if
What's
they
the
venture forward.
the most important thing for me is how that partnership flourishes or develops, and we've seen it. It has flourished. It has developed. It is something that works. So it's an option. There is no doubt about that. Is Kelechi going to replace Jamie up front at the minute? Probably not, is the answer. But can Kelechi play alongside Jamie Vardy in a two-man attack? Absolutely.
Who will Norwich be worried about from a Leicester point of view, by the way that they play?
The likes of James Maddison, someone who they know very well, know what he's capable of doing. I think they'll be looking forward to welcoming him back, because he was a terrific player and a servant for the club, even though for a short space of time. Because of the way Norwich will play, and we've mentioned the fullbacks bombing on, that could play well into Leicester's hands, because and I do think that Brendan might go back to the 4-1-3-1, if you like. That's 4-1-4.
4-3-3.
Yeah,
4-1-4-1.
4-3-3. And I look at
4-3-3,
Ricardo. I think he can hurt Norwich down that right hand side. The same with Chilwell. I don't think Norwich won't change. They'll be 4-2-3-1 or whatever they play with the two sitting midfielders. And because there's going to be lots of spaces down both wings for Leicester. I think Jamie Vardy could have a field day, because he's going to be up against Grant Hanley and Ben Godfrey. I think he'll pull on Hanley.
Godfrey can move, can't he?
Godfrey can. Hanley can't really, but he has played well.
Me and Tags would give Hanley a race, wouldn't we? Back in the day, anyway.
What in a looking competition?
I'm not getting involved in that. Not casting aspersions.
But going back to Ian Atcher, I think he's had a new lease of life under Brendan, the manager who's probably put his arm round his shoulder. Had a tough time when he first signed. Came on, and even though you're still not convinced that the goal that he scored against Everton was a shot, you're still thinking it was a cross. And I can see his mind ticking away. Yeah, it was a cross. He came on and had a great impact and against Everton. I don't think he sort of looked back since then, to be fair. And every time he's been given an opportunity this year or this season, he's done well.
Yeah, for Jamie Vardy. Cross.
Plenty more build-up on the way on LCFC Radio.
You reckon he shot that?
No, he scored, didn't he?
Yeah.
Scored against Everton.
Yeah.
In the last minute, you mean?
No.
Oh, yeah, the one that he creates.
Sorry.
Yeah,
the one he creates.
Tags thought it was a shot.
Yeah.
Nah.
But he always told to shoot for the near far post anyway.
He's picked him out. He's picked him out.
He talked to scuff it and mishit it as well.
Okay, I was wrong. Can we move on?
Yeah,
please?
we are.
I'm still the winner tonight.
You're never wrong, Gerald.
Plenty more build-up on the way, of course, ahead of Norwich against Leicester City. And this week, Leicester have marked the 20th anniversary of the League Cup success in 2000, and LCFC TV have marked the occasion with a special feature-length documentary, including the men who made it possible.
No, they were magical things and great group of lads to be around.
Chance! 2-2! What symmetry, what joy, what relief!
And the memories I've got of that is probably one of my best moments in my career.
We underestimated no one because we was that team.
He has a real presence! Oh! It's a super goal from Matt Elliott!
When I came to Leicester and Martin O'Neill was a manager, I realised that playing football wasn't enough. It was about winning.
Proud to lead Leicester out, proud to walk behind Martin O'Neill.
Guppy now with a corner, it's Elliott! And then back in front!
The rest is history.
There we go. Check out the new documentary on the Leicester City website, recalling some fond memories. What was it like? I know we've talked about it quite a lot in their cup run this year, but actually to have a bit of time where you've sat down and really had to think about those memories, was it special to look back? And you were at Wembley, weren't you, recording it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had the pleasure of going down at the stadium as well, which sort of, I don't know, brought a bit extra, even though it's a new stadium now, but brought back some of the sentiments from then. It's the same pitch and everything, same plot. But it was the last League Cup final to be held in that old stadium, and the first of the century. But yeah, it was. I think it was nice to talk about it to a level, but there was just cause to be going on about it. 20-year anniversary. You don't want to. It was a massive time in our career, and lots of things went well for us, but you don't want to seem to be harping on about it too long down the line, do you?
What do you mean? You're still down and out on it.
Well, yeah, okay, all right. No, but it does still have an effect on me, our lives as well. A lot of what we do is related to our time at Leicester, in our working lives, sort of thing, isn't it? Not just even directly for the club. So it was a big occasion.
See, I have to totally disagree with him. I think he should, because
absolutely,
I think.
Oh yeah, when the time
you should, because
we do, don't we? But
that's a massive achievement.
It's easy to be forgotten.
Fans will never forget that.
Yeah,
fans will never ever forget that.
No, I
day
don't
out.
mean. I'm not saying. Do you know what I mean? But it gets brought up in a natural course anyway. But now 20 years, the club have done an amazing piece of work on it. There's so much work gone into it, as we all know, behind the scenes. Each player, as many as possible, was interviewed for at least an hour each, and it's only, I think it's just over an hour altogether, the documentary.
I just don't think, I think things like this don't get celebrated enough. I really don't. And it's not from a selfish point of view because I played in the game, or Matt scored the 2 goals. I just think in general.
You want to semi?
I think it's, I'm the only goal this semi, of course. Absolutely. It was a Matt Elliott League Cup. They shouldn't have called it the Worthington Cup. Should have called it the Elliott Cup.
It's not the Alan Hardacre Trophy these days,
And I think it should be celebrated. And I think, and that's the same for every football club that wins something. Because, as I said, younger generations coming through, and I'm not saying it's wrong that all the Sinais, your Vardys, your Madisons in this, but there was a history, and we were a good side, and that's what I think. Yes, your 40-something-year-olds and your 30-something-year-olds remember, but it's even the younger generation don't remember, and I think they should, and it's what's helped build what we see today. Leicester City Football Club come today, and Leicester were a good team and had some top players.
Did you notice that Tag's got the line in there, and he made sure he had a couple of the lines so the promo really featured him. Yeah, the rest is history.
Oh, he's good at all that. Yeah, headline grabbers.
He's getting it.
It was straight off the top of the head, I have to say, and it's true though. It's history.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I totally agree with Tags. Players go through their careers without winning anything, without playing on the big stage. That was a big stage. It was massive for the club at the time.
Yeah, that time.
You only have to ask Tony Cotty, who's in the stadium.
Tears,
Tony was in tears after the year before because he thought that was it. He was going to go through. A player of Tony Cotty's calibre thought he was never going to win anything.
I'll tell you what I liked about it. I've seen 3/4 of it so far. I ran out of time to see the culmination of it.
Not you.
Something else
push
going
for
on.
time.
Kept on rewinding to his bit.
But it was, yeah. Were you
on it? What was that goal again?
I didn't see you on it.
Somebody else came into the house, so he kept rewinding it.
I didn't think they came to see
was it me? Just look at this
one. About me. Let's talk about me. But no, what I liked that came across and was definitely the case at the time. You got a feel of how we were together as without being too a band of brothers, etc. Whatever's been named, labelled to us, the spirit we had. I think that sort of shone through in the documentary, and it's true. That's what got us to the level we were at. For whatever reason, it just clicked and gelled with us. We were all different characters, different backgrounds, but there for one common cause. You don't always get that at a football club. It's not automatic, and for some reason, it was a special time in terms of what we achieved, but also on the pitch, off the pitch, just generally around. And it's a.
Mike, would you say you both played for a few clubs? Would you say what you had in the dressing room at Leicester was by far the best atmosphere, spirit?
I think. Sorry, to myself. There were 2 or 3 instances at a lower level where the spirit was, the camaraderie was on a par. But I think what that extra thing that gave us an extra buzz was a lot of us. It was the pinnacle of our career. That was the highest level we were playing at. We were competing in and around the fringes for a European spot. We never quite got there in that context, but in cup finals, League Cup finals 3 out of 4. You know, and we were competing against the elite as well, and doing okay at it. So it was even more enjoyable for that reason, wasn't it? I mean, 2 or 3 other times in my career, but more often not, when the spirit's right and the lads are right, that's when you do the best. But having said that, the spirit coincides when you win games as well. Yeah. So it's a bit of okay, we'll carry on. I didn't want to talk about it too much.
Oh yeah.
I know.
Oh, just ask me another question. Well worth a watch. Check it out. The documentary is on the Leicester City website. You can hear more from Matt. More from Gerry, Neil Lennon, Emil Heskey, Walshy, Steve Guppy, Tony Cotty. They're all involved in there as well. So have a little look on the Leicester City website. Right, let's go back to the pre-match playlist. Another bird-related song. They're playing the Canaries tonight, so here's a bit of Nelly Furtado.
Oh, yes.
You're beautiful, that's for sure. You'll never, ever fade. You're lovely, but it's not for sure. I won't ever change. And though my love is great, and though my love is true, to tears, even after all these years, and it pains me so much to tell that you don't know me that way, and though my love is rare, and though my love is true, home
Listening to LCFC Radio, it's the Pre-Match Pint brought to you by Chang Beer. Anne's been in touch, and it's a great documentary. I watched it earlier. Highly recommend it. Yes, of course, marking 20 years since Leicester's League Cup success. There's a great documentary on the website right now. Do check it out. Right, let's head to Carrow Road to catch up with our Matchday Live team, which tonight is Tony Cotty alongside Dan Bates. Evening, gents.
Hello.
Come on, Dan, wake up.
There we go. Yeah. Are we all right, boys, are we?
Yeah, we're all good. We're all good here.
Sorry to disturb you, Dan. Just we are talking.
Ever the professional again, Tony. You're just showing everyone up today.
I know, I'm sitting here waiting, listening, and Dan just wasn't even listening to you guys. He weren't paying attention or anything, so I'm with you guys anyway.
Yeah, well, lovely to have you with us, Tony. As you said earlier, you've been quite a lucky mascot for Leicester in the days you've been with LCFC Radio this year. Especially last time, it was a very wet and windy day on an away trip. That was a Friday night as well.
It was, yeah. Well, let's hope there's not the kiss of death saying I'm the lucky mascot, because you know what that means. It normally all goes wrong. But yeah, I mean, I've seen quite a few of the live games this year, and I think I'm yet to see Leicester lose. I think I'm right in saying so. I think there was a draw in the League Cup game, but yeah, no, I've really enjoyed watching the boys play this year. They've played some fantastic stuff, and I'm looking forward to them putting in a good performance tonight. We haven't got the team at the moment, so I can't really update you from that point of view, but it'll be interesting to see what team they play tonight, bearing in mind playing against a team struggling at the bottom of the Premier League. Yeah, team news just 9 minutes away at the start of Matchday Live. In terms of a Norwich perspective, we were talking earlier about how many people this season have said, they played well, but they're not picking up the points, and that's been their problem. But actually for Leicester, playing against a team that are battling to stay in the league, that's another added challenge. Yeah, it is. I've seen a lot of Norwich over the last 2-3 seasons. For some reason, my producer, where I work on a Saturday, seems to think that Norwich is a local club to me. I live in Southend, it's 2 hours away, so it's not quite local, but I have spent a lot of time in Norwich, and I've seen them play many times, and they do not change their game. They're open, they're attacking, they take the game to the opposition, but defensively they are very naive, I would say, at times, and I think that's obviously where Leicester can exploit them if they're patient, play their normal counter-attacking game, which they're so good at. But this Norwich team will come out and play, and they will try and take the game to Leicester, and I've seen many 3-2s, 4-3s and all sorts of results here, so it should be an entertaining game, and there should be goals tonight.
How impressed have you been with Todd Cantwell this season?
Yeah, very impressed. I think he's a good young player. He's improving. I think sort of similar to James Maddison when I saw him getting the team here, and you look at him as a young kid and you think, yeah, there's a potential there. And then the next time you see him, you think, yeah, he's a decent player. And all the time they're learning and they're getting experience. And for him to be playing in the Premier League, the biggest problem Norwich have got is quite simple. If they get relegated, which I think there's a very, very good chance, bearing in mind they're 6 points adrift already at the moment. If they get relegated, then I don't think Todd Cantwell will be here next season. As simple as that. But he's an exciting young player, no doubt about it.
So team news on the way at the start of Matchday Live. What else is on the show, Dan?
Yeah, we'll hear from Harvey Barnes, both managers Brendan Rodgers and Daniel Farke, as well as, of course, looking ahead to the game, which kicks off at 8 p.m.
Well, thank you very much for responding to that question. Really appreciated. Dan Bates and Tony Cotty in position at Carrow Road, and they'll be with us very, very shortly. But final thoughts from us in the studio ahead of tonight. How do you see things going, Iwan?
We were on the show Monday, Matty, weren't we? And we were asked the question, and I just said I can only see a Leicester win. I went for 3-1. To come out of this bit of a blip that they're in with one win in 6. Been good away from home, 7 wins on the road. Norwich haven't scored a goal from open play since the 1st of January. Pookie hasn't scored a goal from open play since his goal here at the King Power. They're in big problems. They're having big problems in both boxes. I can only see a Leicester win. How massive is that? The goals from open play part.
Yeah, of course. It's a positive if. Looking from a Leicester point, I think they've only scored 2 penalties, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the last 6 games. Yeah. Both teams need to win this game. If you're looking at Leicester, they need to win. They need to get back to winning ways. Because tonight's a great chance of putting the pressure on the teams just behind them, even though they're still 9 points in front of 5th place. There's just a little bit of, pressure, you could say, building because they haven't won in so many games. So both teams need to win this. We know why Norwich need to win it. Leicester have the better players. If both teams need to win it and they go toe-to-toe, I'm expecting Leicester to come out on top. It's as simple as that for me.
Let's start with you, Matt, with your score prediction and first goal scorer, please.
Similar to Iwan, as we said on Monday night, I think Norwich will make a fist of it, but I'm going for an away victory. 3-1, same score. Harvey Barnes.
Tags.
2-0, Leicester away win.
Goal.
Vardy every time.
And Iwan.
I can't go Vardy then, can I? James Maddison going back to haunt his old club.
We will see what happens. We have got you covered right throughout the evening on LCFC Radio. If you're watching on the social media feeds, they're about to be paused, but we'll start at the beginning of Matchday Live, which is on the way from Carrow Road with Tony Cotty and Dan Bates next, and they will have your team news for the first time as well. We'll be back at half-time with analysis, and then for an hour after the match,